3 of the Terra Invicta Resistance playthrough. To catch up on the last episode, we mostly managed the tech tree to keep control of the board across all 3 techs as much as possible, and at the very end of the episode we launched our Mars probe. That should get to Mars around April of the next year, and once it does, we'll be able to get our Mars bases up and running and start the space game. In the meantime, there's one control point left to take in the US and a lot more technology to research before we can do anything super useful to fight the aliens. So let's get to it and see how this episode goes. Again, I'm going to edit this one down a little bit to make sure it fits. Alright, so before getting started here, just going to do a little bit of counselor administration. Take a look, see who needs to level up. Looks like we got one here, just a little bit of admin there should be sufficient. No good orgs, it looks like, so we'll just see if anybody else is good. I think we're all good. And I think we can get started here on actually getting the first turn of the episode. Okay, before the first turn goes here, looks like we've been running Unity for a while here, so cohesion's getting better. Public opinion is pretty much entirely with the US, so we're going to switch the control points around here to start working on some welfare and get that inequality down. Inequality is going to high inequality is really going to wreck your country if you're trying to hold it for the long term and really mess with your cohesion. So we're gonna start working on that a little bit here in the US. Okay, in Kazakhstan, looks like Unity we don't need any more in this country, so we're gonna switch over, and we're good on money, so we're gonna switch over to boost, make sure that we can get enough boost to get our space stuff done. And just one more look at orgs here, see if there's any reshuffling that I want to do. Alright, looks like another alien counselor just made his way over to Earth, so gotta keep an eye on those, make sure that doesn't get too out of control. Alright, it's time to take the last control point here in the US, so we got a good chance with John. Bump that up to a nice solid 73% chance, and should happen this turn.
Ready.
Alright, so looks like we're running a sabotage project mission here with one of our counselors, just to screw with the servants a little bit. Never a bad idea, just to keep them on their toes a little bit.
We're taking over.
So there is the last control point of the United States. As I mentioned, we would go over the control point cap here, but at 18, that's something we can deal with. It's not a huge deal. We're still positive and influenced by a lot. It is costing us probably, okay, 0.9 per day. That's about 30 influence per month. That's an acceptable amount. We will grow into this. So now that we have full control of the US, we can really focus on getting the inequality down. We can see our base cohesion is already up to 3.52. That's getting there. As we get inequality down into the, let's say, low range of moderate, something closer to 3, we'll be in much better shape. That should get our rest state for cohesion somewhere below, or somewhere around 5, and therefore our on rest state at 0. Right now, it's at 0.23. That's very low, right? We can live with that for now. We don't have to really do too much. But most importantly, if we can get this cohesion state to rest at 5 so that we don't have to, I'm sorry, right now the calculator, yeah, it's 3.52. So the closer to 5 your cohesion is, the higher your research will be. We want to make sure that we are maxing out that research so that we can get the nice techs before the aliens start getting too powerful too quickly. Just a quick little check on Kazakhstan here. Looks like we were running spoils, so we're going to switch that back over to boost. I think that should be good. Maybe a little bit of welfare. The inequality's not bad, but we can get it a little bit better. And one check on the counselors here, see if anyone needs to level up, if there's any orgs out there that are worthwhile. We got some money to spend. A couple of level ups here, it looks like. Maybe gonna save them. Yeah, none of these orgs look particularly appealing. We'll get the level ups in at least. just wrapping up outpost mining complex here. So that's something we have to watch out for. We have an alien in the US now, crash landed in Dallas. Anytime you see a UFO crash down site, you can expect an alien to pop out and start wreaking havoc on your country that they landed in. So if they land in your territory, yeah, that could be really bad. And I guess if you're the servants, it could be really good. But for this playthrough being the Resistance, we want to keep an eye on what that alien's going to do. For whatever reason, I guess for game balance purposes, the aliens are basically walking from foot to foot, or on foot, from province to province or region to region. So, right now they're in Dallas. The only places they could really go would be New Orleans, St. Louis, Denver, Tijuana, or Monterey. So they've got 5 options. Obviously that expands very quickly each turn. We'll see where they go, but you might start seeing things like abductions or random events pop up throughout the game.
Lending my expertise.
So that's outpost mining habs done. Let's take a look at the tech tree here and see what we won. Never sleep on institutional outreach or any org-related technology. So if it allows you to acquire orgs faster, for instance, institutional outreach lets you get 5 more orgs available to recruit every month. That's going to really increase the chance that you have a good org coming your way every month. So that's a no-brainer right there.
In 1954, the Americans built the first...
Okay, so we got beat by Project Exodus somehow there on the last little bit of nuclear fission in space. They did choose something that we will need for a lot of technologies anyway, especially things like solid core and gas core fission reactors. If we look at their tech tree here, we're going to need advanced heat management concepts anyway. We just started researching that. Would it have been better for them to maybe pick solid core fission? Maybe, but that's just going to be something that happens. We'll take control of the board back next. Okay, through a quick org reshuffle there, we did spend a little bit of money, but nothing insane. We now have John's Persuasion here up to 13. That gives us a pretty solid chance to turn a Servant Counselor, which would be really nice. It's a 57% roll, better than a coin flip. We have plenty of influence. We're making more than 64 influence per month, so I think we're going to try this twice. If we get it, that's great.
We'll bring them
If
to
not,
our side.
then maybe we'll try again at some other
At your
point.
service.
And there we go. There's our first servant turned to our side. So now we're going to have a lot more information about what it is the servants are up to. If we're really lucky, we should be able to get some good relations with Humanity First. Humanity First has a high propensity to assassinate servants and Protectorate and any aliens they see as well. So the idea here is going to be that we go find a Humanity First counselor. Maybe we make a couple of not so favorable trades for us to get them to like us. We get an intelligence sharing agreement. Then they see where all of the servants are, since we're sharing we have a trader among the servants feeding information to us. We turn around, feed that information to Humanity First. Humanity First will go out and probably assassinate a servant counselor every so often. And that's nothing but good for us. It'll keep the servants contained. If we can do this with the Protectorate as well, all the better.
The right place. But your methods
Okay,
are
and here it is. We're
insufficient
just going to give them like a
threat.
little bit of influence. I don't think it'll cost us much. For 45 influence, we get an intelligence sharing agreement with Humanity First, and they will then be fed. We'll see everything that they see. So if we go to the factions, we see all of their counselors and what missions they're doing. We'll see all of their objectives, so we know where they are in their story. We know how they're doing. We have their non-aggression pact with them. We see what what techs they're working on. Purify the Earth. Obviously, they really want to get rid of the aliens. So, as we know all of the servants and where they're at and what missions they're doing, the Humanity First counselors will also have that information, and there's a good chance, like I said, that they'll go around and start assassinating the servants one by one. Unsurprising here, we get some abductions reported in Dallas. That's where the alien crash landed, so, you know, we're going to have some activity going around the southern United States as the alien moves around. Next part of the story here, look, you have to investigate some alien abductions, and once you do that, yeah, you can start advancing the story. It's important to advance the story, research these texts, alien methods next, alien signatures, all that stuff, so that you can eventually get your faction org, which is always super powerful.
You are a burning sun.
Okay, control of the board is back in our hands. So we will go for solid core fission systems here now. Nuclear freighters will be a decent tech to get if we can get it before we actually start colonizing Mars. Again, we're going to wait until we get a moon base online before we do that. We might claim one site on Mars just to make sure we get the best one. Once we have solid core fission systems, we might try and make our way over to a decent drive and maybe start to colonize some stuff a little further out once we get mission to the asteroids.
Lending my
Okay,
expertise.
we've got enough boost here to
Offering
get
counsel.
a outpost mining complex. We will need, that will take 60 some days, so, or 40 some days I believe, so we need to also get a solar collector, but that does not cost much boost. It's only 4.9 boost. We'll have that in less than a month. So they should finish somewhere around the same time. And we'll start getting resources online before our Mars base, before Mars, our Mars probe really arrives, and we'll be able to claim some sites on Mars very easily. Principles of Space Warfare up next for the tech. Again, we're going to start working towards actually getting some stuff in space here now that our space resources are going to come online very quickly. Okay, we have enough boost here to get our solar panel up to the moon base. See, that'll finish on April 1st. It takes less time to build. Then the mining outpost will be built, or the mining complex will be built on April 8th. So they should finish right around the same time. A week after that, I guess that would be April 14th or April 15th, somewhere around there, 2024, we will have the Mars probe done, and we'll be able to start seeing which sites are best to claim on Mars. We're going to start working towards the Helicon drive a little bit as well. That way, if we want to start doing some colonization, whether in the outer asteroid belt or even as far as Jupiter, we can get there relatively quickly with a high efficiency, high delta V, albeit slow, spacecraft. You can see here I just picked up a admin org, Romulus Products. It wasn't even that expensive. Normally these are very expensive orgs. It actually gives me money. It gives me five admin on top of that. So not only will it let him pick up an extra org, it will increase his effectiveness at advising. He's now giving an 11% boost to the investment points in the United States as he advises them. Also was able to pick up an extra org, Lupus Laboratories here, extra 21 research a month, and really important, an extra 10% material science research, which if we look here, we are researching into material science technology right now, and we're probably going to have a couple more coming up quickly. So the institutional outreach, while it was a little expensive for an engineering project at this stage of the game, with 1,000 research, was 100% worth it. It paid off the very first month, and it will continue to pay off as we reshuffle orgs around. And there is the first mining complex. So you can see we actually have income now for most of the resources. No base metals, that's fine. There's no base metals at all anywhere on the moon. So we do have water, volatiles, albeit very little amount of volatiles, base metals, and a tiny amount of fissiles coming through every month. As we accumulate these, even if it's only 5, 10 in a little stockpile, it'll make colonizing Mars so much easier. And here it is. We're going to take a look at the Mars sites and see which ones we want. We definitely will want some. Okay, right off the bat, Tantalus Fossae, definitely something we want. Probably also Ares Valles. Maybe Aeonia Terra. Probably Argier Planitia. Anything with really good... Tharsis Montes. Yes. Huge base metals, huge noble metals. Anything with really good fissiles income. Already taken that one. And Promethea Terra probably as well. Fissiles are really hard to get. There's not a ton of sites that have huge fissile rolls. So it won't take long. I think we need 10 boost. We're already at 9.8. Then we'll be able to start picking these off. So we can pick one of these up every other month, essentially. We obviously won't be able to get any mining outposts done too quickly. We will get them as we accumulate resources. The boost cost will go down. And you want to get at least 2 here. Ideally, we're going to get somewhere around 6 to 8 of these sites, and then also ideally upgrade them to the settlement mining complexes and level 2 habs in general fairly quickly. You can also see we've got our inequality in the US down to moderate at a 3.5 rating. That's enough for right now. Our cohesion rest state is actually somehow down to a 1.7. Probably because we have a public opinion issue. So we're going to start doing some public campaigns there. If we can get the resistance public campaign or public opinion up to north of 60%, somewhere around 70%, we'll be in pretty good shape. In the meantime, we're actually going to switch off of doing just 100% welfare here. We're going to just do a little bit of welfare, probably about 20% welfare, 20% knowledge, and 40% mission control. Which will end probably just a touch of unity as well. Something like that. This should help tremendously. And we'll get the public campaign going in the US. So we've got through the majority of the text for the story right now that we can get through. We will get through a little bit more. Next up for our projects is going to be nuclear powered freighters. We want to get habs sent to Mars much quicker. This is going to help us out a lot. First Mars outpost will actually be Promethea Terra. It gives us at least some of every resource. It's actually, I think, in every way strictly better than Tantalus Fosse. That is another one we're going to want. Again, mostly because of the high fissiles and also the high water income. Though I do believe that based off of some of the other bodies that we're going to be colonizing and putting some outposts on, we're not going to really be trouble for water. Volatiles, maybe. We'll see. I often run into a issue with volatiles income. If you can get a really good roll on Ceres, then you're fine. If you can get control of the Jupiter system early enough, you're going to be fine with volatiles. But for a while, you're going to eat a lot of volatiles. Like, there's really here on Mars, I think the best site for volatiles is going to be, where did I see? Tempe Terra. And that's not really fantastic for everything else. Oh, sorry, actually, Utopia Planitia. So we will probably take this one, because that's a decent volatiles roll. But we're gonna need a couple. This is a pretty good Mars roll. I'm not displeased with this. And you can see here for the cost to build an outpost mining complex on Earth and send it to Mars, it'll take 400 and some days, and it will cost 125 boost. If we build it in space and send it out, we reduce the cost of boost by half based off of what we currently have. We can get that down probably just a little bit more, because in a month we'll have enough water and base metals to do it entirely. Alright, so we're going to get started on Ad Astra here. Not a super expensive tech, but one that we want to get out so we can get level 2 habs. Quicker the better. Well, we tried to sabotage some servants and we rolled a critical failure, and one of our counselors is now detained. That definitely super stinks. The IMF is an absolutely fantastic organization. It gives a ton of admin, and a good amount of other priority boosts here. We get a little bit of bonus to economy, welfare, knowledge, and spoils. We're running a lot of welfare and knowledge right now, so that's great. But most importantly, that bumps John's admin all the way up to 20 already, so we can sneak in a couple of extra good orgs here. 10% more material science research. We could get a little boost bonus. We will take some of this. We don't have too much money, so we gotta watch. Okay, that looks pretty good for John. So we're gonna get a good military science research boost out of that. I would normally not take this. We don't really need 20% military, Army, Navy, but a little bit of funding boost won't hurt us when we use that. A little bit of boost in mission control won't hurt us. And the 8% military science research is what we really like there, plus an extra 25 research and 1 science right off the bat. Alright, so we'll get quantum computing here. That will get us going towards quantum encryption right afterwards. So relatively decently sized tech at this point of the game still, so it's going to take us a little bit of time. We've also got enough boost to get one other site here on Mars. So I think we will go for Tantalus Fosse. Probably want to get Tharsis Montes after that. But for now, we're just gonna grab that.
Prepping for next mission.
And how are we looking on how much it will take? So we still can't get a... Okay, so it'll only take 5 boost. It's going to take a very long time to build, still 350 days, and then we need to make sure we get fission pile as well researched. In fact, we might plug that in. It's only a 500. It's only a 500 tech research, so once we lock in advanced superconductors, we'll probably bump this real quick. Okay, Ad Astra is done. Next up, we're going to continue working our way over towards the Helicon Drive, I believe. Just check, make sure there's nothing else I want. Yeah, I think we're going to go for molten core fission systems next. Yeah, molten core. Okay, now that we have the fission pile, we can actually get started doing some work here on Mars. So if we look first in Mars, this is going to be ready 22 May 2025, and this is going to be ready to June. Okay, so this is the first one. So we want to get the mining outpost, and we want to get the fission pile. And we have enough potentially to do this, barely, and we will soon have enough boost to do the fission pile. So we'll have 2 mines up and running right around the same time.
What's the op?
On Mars. Okay, now that the fission pile is built, we're looking at 16th of September, 14th of October, and 14th of October, 16th of September, 14th of October, 14th of September. So it looks like the 14th of October, 2025, just over a month and a year from now, we'll have at least 2 bases up and running on Mars. And if we get nuclear freighters done soon, which will be done in 3 months, we'll get an 18% bonus, or I should say an 18% reduction in how long it takes Habs to get there. Okay, I'm kind of giving away one org that I really don't care about right now, and that is to improve relations more so than get the non-aggression pack. They would give me the non-aggression pack probably for a little bit of influence, but a generous trade will make them feel really good about me, and next turn I might be able to get an intelligence sharing agreement with the Academy. For a little bit more influence that I'd really like to give up, but still pretty good, I can get an intelligence sharing agreement with the Academy. Again, at this point in the game, I want to try and disrupt the other factions as much as possible, except for Humanity First and the Academy. Humanity First is going to fight the aliens. They're going to fight them hard. They're going to fight the servants. They're going to fight the protectorate. Right from the get-go, they're going to try and disrupt their activities. The Academy is going to take some more time before they start realizing they're going to need some firepower on their side, but they will still maintain good relations with all of the other factions if possible. Then, if they're sharing intelligence with me, they'll pass along information to me. I pass it along to Humanity First, and we get even more chances at figuring out what it is our enemies are up to. So that's the idea here behind the intelligence sharing agreement with the Academy. I guess you could do it with either Project Exodus or the Initiative as well, but I think the Academy is going to be the one that is kind of sitting very neutrally, where they would like to be friends with the aliens, so they probably won't go right to disrupting servant and protectorate activities, but at the same time they're going to also want to at some point switch over to fighting the aliens a little bit, so having good relations with them will benefit me in the long run. But this is never
Eyes
good.
up.
You don't want to see the servants start getting uppity and doing some coups in friendly locations. So previously the Academy and the Initiative shared Mexico. Now we got 2 open control points and the servants are there. We'll probably do a little bit of crackdown there to make it easy for someone else to get back in. Alright, so we got nuclear-powered freighters. We're also going to get space tugs here. This will be done really quick. Once we get space tugs, we're going to start getting like 2 to 3 more bases on Mars. We've already accumulated 25 boost here, so by the time this tech is done, we'll have enough to get 3 other Mars sites settled. That'll put us at 5. It's a really good start. I don't know how much more. We'll probably slow down from there and focus on getting those up to level 2, and maybe we'll grab 1 or 2 more after that. Alright, so now we have Molten Core, which is, I believe, if we check the tree here, the last of the global techs that we need to get that's unlocked right now. Once we finish superconducting magnets, we'll have to go for high energy electromagnetic propulsion. But right now, we're done with this tree. After we finish superconducting magnets, we go to high energy electromagnetic propulsion. Then we'll go down the solid core, molten core fission line to hopefully pop the Helicon drive. If it pops, you know, we can get pretty much anywhere in the inner solar system and even to Jupiter relatively quickly. It's 2025. I expect if we do that correctly, we could probably get out there, I don't know, somewhere around 2020, middle of 2026. It'll really depend on how hard everybody goes for industrialization of space. If we want to go out that far, we're going to need the construction module. We're also going to need the construction modules later, what it leads to, which is the fission outpost and fission platform kit. Most importantly, the fission platform kit. It's not super important that we get mines down there right away, but it is important that if we go out there, we get a base of a platform in orbit down so that we can, you know, refuel our ships and we can, you know, drip 2, 3, 4 ships at a time out there, build up a little fleet. The aliens will go nuts if that happens, and they'll start trying to fight us 1 ship at a time. That's okay. We're willing to take that. Once the construction module is built in Jupiter orbit, again, this is a big if we go for that. Once the construction module is built in Jupiter orbit, as long as you can, you know, hold on to that station, you can start building your bases on whatever planetary body you choose. Ideally, you're really going to want to choose whatever body you put it in orbit of. Probably Callisto or Europa, depending on if you beat the aliens there. Most of the time, the aliens are going to choose Callisto first. Sometimes they go for Europa or maybe Io, but you know, mostly they're going to go for Callisto. So this is a big if. It really opens up a lot of different potentials here. I would really like to grab orbitals and settlement habs. Those are really important. We're just going to have to push them off a tiny bit because we're really not focused on getting our bases up quite yet. I mean, they're not even built on Mars, so there's no point in rushing there. Right now, industrialization of space, it is a very long tech, but it will, hopefully we get some help from the other factions to research it. And most importantly, even though it's very annoying, well, we'll work on space tugs first. Once we have space tugs finished, we're gonna focus on industrialization of space the most, because it's just such a big tech. 15,000 research. We've also redone the priorities here a little bit. We've got inequality really coming down. You can see our rest value now did get to 5 for the cohesion in the United States, so that'll keep bumping up our research. We're also going to pump a little bit more knowledge priority because we're actually doing pretty good on mission control. Ideally, we just want to get to around 30 or 40 here. We don't need to go crazy. We will want to race to 100 once we have some ships going around, but for now, just getting to like that 30 to 40 range gets us enough mines in Mars, gets us a couple stations in orbit of Earth, and then any asteroids or anything we want to go after. Okay, so space tugs is done, and if we go check now, if we go over to Mars and we look to see how long will it take to found an outpost, we're down to 250 days. Remember, the first outposts that we went to found were over 300 days, 350 days in total, I think. So 100 days more, that's 3 months extra. So we go from just about a year to just over 6 months, probably about 7 months here. If we look and let's see here, which site do we want next? Probably something with good nobles income. I would say Olympus Mons, Ares Valley are good choices. Actually, Tharsis Montes is the one we want because of you get great base metals and nobles metals production. So we're gonna found that. We can go for an outpost right away and a fission pile right away. And this is gonna finish on 29th of October of this year. 14th of October, 14th of October, 29th of October. So in October, we're going to get 3 mines online now, and probably a 4th, because I think we have enough to do one more site here, which I think we will go for Ares Valleys. And we do have enough to do that. Perfect. So now we've got 5 mines coming online, all in October of 2025.
Wrapping up here.
That's not like super quick or anything to get to Mars. I think you could probably do it around this time, late 2024, early 2025, but it certainly gives us a really good base to work on. Going forward, later this year, we will have a huge resource income. I think every single resource bucket's going to be filled really nice. We should have well over 100 water, probably 200, 250 water a month, 100 volatiles a month, probably 200 metals or more a month, 20 or 30 nobles, and 10 to 15 fissiles. That's enough to really start snowballing into the best sites around the solar system. Is it enough to push into Jupiter? I don't know, but I think that's a really good space to end it. We're now kind of fully set up on Mars. Like I said, I don't know how many more sites we'll grab on Mars. Maybe 2 more. We're gonna once we get quantum computing done and then quantum encryption, like we have these techs set here. It's hopefully we can get these done quick. I don't need much down in engineering projects. I want to make sure that I get the pre-requirements for the Helicon drive, and then we'll start chipping away at the stuff to start working out to the asteroids. The reason we want that Helicon drive before we get, say, mission to the asteroids or mission to Jupiter is I could actually build a ship that's going to get out there and colonize those planetary bodies much quicker than I can just send a HAB module out directly from Earth orbit. So that could speed up the time before we're really starting to snowball and get those good resources coming in. So again, this is the first episode that's edited down. I don't know what the time frame, as I'm recording this here, I don't know how long it's actually going to be. Probably somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes, maybe even bordering closer to 30 minutes. And let me know if you guys think that this is a better way to do it. If you like seeing the thought process the whole way, I can narrate the whole way. That's totally fine. If you like this little cut up here so that I'm just giving snippets from episode to episode of this happens and this happens and this happens, more than happy to edit it down so that it's a little bit more digestible. But until next time, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you around.